You know, yeah. So till now, I think to recap, because of it's been a week time. So Kalia is actually poisoned the lake Yamuna, and then all the cowherd boys, this thing, they're all like very much disturbed, and Krishna wanted to protect. So then he gets into the water. So today we will see what has actually happened after Krishna gets into the Yamuna lake, and how's the residents of Vrindavan react. Very nice part we are going to read in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? Yeah. So we are reading 19th verse, 10th chapter, 16th, 10th canto, 16th chapter, 19th verse. So as usual, what we can do is devotees would like to read, they can raise the hand, and then they can read the translation and purport, and I will read the verse. Okay. अन्तर्हृदे भुजगभोगपरितम् आर कृष्णं निरीहम् उपलभ्य जलाशयान्ते गोपंश्च मूढदिशनं परितः पशुंश्च शङ्क्राततः परमकश्मलम् आपूर्वर्थः. Yes, Lalita Mataji, you can go ahead. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
1 second. As they hurried along the path to the bank of the Yamuna river, they saw from a distance that Krishna was in the lake, motionless within the coils of the black serpent. They further saw that the cowherd boys had fallen unconscious and that the animals were standing on all sides crying out for Krishna. Seeing all this, the residents of Vrindavana were overwhelmed with anguish and confusion. May I
Yeah,
read
go
the
ahead with the
purport?
purport. Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. In their grief and panic, the residents of Vrindavana tried to find out whether Kaliya had forcibly dragged young Krishna from the shore into the water, or whether Krishna had himself jumped from the shore and fallen into the clutches of the snake. They could not understand anything about the situation, and Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, being unconscious, were unable to tell them anything. The cows and calves were crying out for Krishna, and thus the whole situation was overwhelming and created a state of shock and panic among the residents of Vrindavana. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, yeah. I actually forgot to offer my prayers. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai. Okay. So, we just saw here, like, no, the cowherd boys, they are really so much of anxiety for them. And they just seeing what happened to Krishna. Krishna jumped. I think last week we just saw just Krishna actually tied his hairs. No, we saw that in one of the shloka. And he jumped into the lake. Then Kalia came out, and then actually Kalia started, no, started to bite at the chest of uh, Krishna, and we also spoke about the Srivatsa mark. So I don't know how many you remember. So we did that. So now today, the cowherd boy, so after seeing all this, they're seeing what happened actually, because Kalia coiled Krishna. So they were very anxious. What happened? So is Krishna has become motionless? What has happened like that? So we can see here. So this is something Prabhupada says, like, how the residents of Vrindavan are always so much attached to Krishna. For them, the lovable object is Krishna, the beloved. So this Prabhupada says, like, maybe we have to picturize a mother is there and a son is such getting caught and how they will feel, mother will feel the anxiety. So that's how we can see here the Vrindavan, the Brajavasis, especially the cowherd boys here, they feel very much perplexed seeing this kind of a panic and this a shocking situation which is there, and they are just seeing what happened to Krishna, how uh, the Kaliya has coiled Krishna, and then how Krishna is motionless. So, so this is the situation here. Okay, so we will go to the next shloka. गोप्यो अनुरक्तमनसो भगवती अनन्ते तत्सौहृदस्मितविलोकगीरः स्मरन्त्यः ग्राष्टे अहीनप्रियतमे वृषदुःखतप्ता शून्यं प्रिया व्यतिहृतं दादृष्ट्रिलोकम्. Yeah, Mahabhavani Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Translation: When the young gopis, whose minds were
Your
constantly
voice is
attached to
less, I
Krishna,
don't know whether I feel or everybody feel.
No, Mataji, you're not audible, Mataji. Can you speak a little
I'm
louder?
not audible, Prabhuji. You're
Little better, but still it is not very
You can
clear.
go near the mic or something like that.
Hare Krishna. Now you
Yeah,
can
now
hear me,
it's
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Translation: When the attached to Krishna, the unlimited Supreme Lord saw that he was now within the grips of the serpent. They remembered his loving friendship, his smiling glances, and his talks with them. Burning with great sorrow, they saw the entire universe as void.
So here now we saw Gopas in the previous verse. Um, so now we are seeing gopis, how their anxiety is seeing Krishna. So we know in Vrindavan there are 5 kinds of relationship. Santa, Dhasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. So we see here the gopis who are in the Madhurya Rasa. So they see Krishna and then they feel very, very bad, and immediately it's like, out of separation, they feel uh, the relationship with Krishna. So sometimes, how to understand this. Sometimes who is very dear to us or very close, if we miss them, right? So what we do, we start, uh, remembering their moments with them, right? So that's what is happening. Gopis here, thinking about Krishna's smiling faces, talks, and they feel a great separation and also a sorrow. And they saw the entire universe as void. Tadrushuhu Trilokam. So it's all these emotions we can also feel. But what we feel is material. But all these Rajavasis and they feel is spiritual. So anybody remembers Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayers, which tells about the same mode? Anybody knows in which part of prayers it is this there? Anybody guess? I think Premdad Prabhu is saying something, but you are muted, I think. Chaitanya Prabhu just gave only one thing. What is that?
Yugayitam Nimeshena Prabhu.
Yes, yes. Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahe nami. So I'm feeling separation from Krishna, and then sunyayitam jagat sarvam, right? Because that's how it is. So here, the gopis are feeling. So these are all spiritual emotions. So, okay, I will put forward a question to the audience. So whoever wants to answer, they can raise the hand. What is the general conception of the people when they think about spirituality? Generally, what is their thought process? Anybody? I'm not talking from the devotee's perspective, but I'm just asking from a general perspective person how they see a spiritual life means what it is.
Only for old people, Prabhu.
Yeah, that is there. Old people is one thing. Okay. I'm just talking with reference to our discussion here. What people generally think spiritual
Res-
means.
respecting the Lord and with awe and reverence and worshipping the Lord with
Yeah, that is
showing
there.
agarbatti.
Okay. No, that is fine. That is fine. But now maybe I will reframe the question. What is the general misconception people have about spiritual?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
The misconception is everybody think that if we enter into spirituality, our material life will be in problem.
Okay, that is there. Okay. But maybe you should correlate to the current context and tell. Anybody else would like to try?
Hare Krishna
When we do
Prabhuji.
bhakti, we want something for us, and we are asking always. But here gopis are always, they are in love with Krishna, and they are not. They are always thinking of Lord, and they don't want anything for themselves.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's correct. But what I'm saying is, you see here, there are a lot of emotions and these things are all happening, exchanges are happening. But in reference to this, what people generally think when comes to spiritual?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mahendra.
Prabhuji. So generally people think if we go to spiritual, we leave all the emotions, all the feelings, we become hard-hearted. We are not
Yes.
connected with Krishna or anyone.
Yes. Om Shanti, Shanti,
Yes.
Shanti. People think no laughing, no emotion, nothing. Just be like, morose and no, that is what people think. But here, we can understand from spiritual life means all the material life, what these rasas are there, correct? The exchanges, love, and what we see is there in the spiritual world. Only here it is for our own sense gratification. And in material life, it is for, material life, it is for sense gratification. Spiritual life, it is centered around Krishna. So that is some point which we have to understand, for our spiritual maturity, that we don't give up anything, but we do it for Krishna. So that is something very important for us to understand. Yes, bro. We'll go to the next. Taha Krishnamatheram apathyam anupravishtham tulyavyatah sama anugrihya suchaha shravantayah tastavrajapriyakatah katayantya asan Krishna Anane Arpita Trisha Mritaka Pratikaha. Yes, Dhruva Kumar, please.
Yeah. Translation. Although the elder gopis were feeling just as much distress as she and were pouring forth a flood of sorrowful tears, they had to forcibly hold back Krishna's mother, whose consciousness was totally absorbed in her son. Standing like corpses with their eyes fixed upon his face, these gopis each took turns recounting the pastimes of the darling of Vraja.
Yeah, thank you, bro. So here, now we are just seeing, first we saw Sakya, right? Then we saw Madhurya. So now we are seeing the Vatsalya. So especially Yashodamai. Yashoda is actually in great anxiety seeing, and she actually totally lost. Seeing her son is in such a, it's like became like a corpse, it mentions. So now we see the Vatsalya Bhava people, how they get affected by seeing this particular situation. Okay? Yeah, so we will go ahead. There's no purport. Krishna Pranan Nirvishato Nandadin Vikshyatam Hridam Pratyasedat sa Bhagavan Ramaha Krishna Anubhavavit.
Translation. Lord Balram then saw that Nand Maharaj and other cowherd men who had dedicated their very lives to Krishna were beginning to enter the serpent's lake. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Balram fully knew Lord Krishna's actual power and therefore he restrained them. Purport. Srila Sanatan Goswami explains that Lord Balram checked some of the cowherd men by speaking to them, others by physically holding them, and some others by casting upon them his potent smiling glance. Distraught over the situation, they were prepared to give up their lives for Krishna by entering the serpent's lake.
So now Balaram, who is none other than Krishna, sees this incident, and then he knows what's all happening, and the Yogamaya did not cover Balaram here. So he's all the Vrajavasis, especially, they all saw, and then they all started jumping into the Yamuna river. You see, they can save Krishna. But Balaram actually checked them. No, 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 not required. Leave it, and he smiled also. So now here, if you see, we know that in Vrindavan, everybody has the mood like, that Krishna is not God. It's their lovable object. So they they forget that he is God, and maybe they need to protect them. The Yogamaya covers, but Balaram actually here Balaram is not actually covered by Yogamaya, so he understands the power. Krishna will be able to manage this, so he restrained them. Don't worry, everything will be taken care. So that's where Sanatana Goswami writes in his commentary accordingly. So we will go ahead. Ittam swagokulam ananyagatim nirikshya sa stri kumaram atidukkitam atmaheto agnayamartya padavim anuvartamanaha stitva muhurtam udatistad urangabandhat.
Lalita
Yeah,
Mataji,
go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. The Lord remained for some time within the coils of the serpent, imitating the behavior of an ordinary mortal. But when he understood that the women, children, and other residents of his village of Gokula were in acute distress because of their love for him, their only shelter and goal in life, he immediately rose up from the bonds of the Kadiya serpent. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so now Krishna is going to expand and break Kalia's coil, which had coiled Krishna's body. No? And that is here it is mentioned that the verse says that he sees, Krishna sees all the residents are really getting disturbed and they're seeing the distress, and because of the love for them, now Krishna is going to do some pastime, which we will read. Next few verses, we may not have purports, so we will just go ahead and read that. Okay. So 24. Tat pratyamana vapusha vyatithatma bogas त्यक्त्वोर्णमाय कुपितः स्वपनान् भुञ्जङ्गः तस्थौ श्वसन रन्ध्र विशाम्ब अम्बरीषा स्तब्ध ईक्षण उल्मुख मुखः हरिम् ईक्षमाणः. Go ahead, bro.
Translation. His coils, tormented by the expanding body of the Lord, Kaliya released him. In greater anger, the serpent then raised his hoods high and stood still, breathing heavily. His nostrils appeared like vessels for cooking poison, and the staring eyes in his face like firebrands. Thus the serpent looked at the Lord.
So here Krishna is expanding. So similarly, anybody remember in other Krishna's pastime, Krishna expands in which demons pastime? Anybody
Aghasur. Hare Krishna
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhu, Agasur.
Aghasur.
Yeah. So he enters. Yes, thank you for remembering and quoting it. We know that when Agasura opens the mouth, so all the cowherd boys see is like, a great place for them to play inside. So they go inside and they go and they see a different picture, and they go inside thinking that Krishna will protect us because he has protected before Bakasura and other demons. So they are very boldly, they go inside and Krishna enters and he actually stays near the throat. And that's where he just starts expanding, and it's expanding, and it's like it becomes very suffocated to Aghasura. So that is what is we can see here. Yes. 25. Tam jihvaya dvishikaya परिलेलिहानम् द्वे सृत्वानि हि अतिकराल विष अग्नि दृष्टिं कृदन् अमुं परिशाशार यथा खग इन्द्रः बभ्राम सह अपि अवशरं प्रसमीक्षमाणः.
Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yeah, please,
Go ahead,
please.
Mani.
Again and again, Kaliya licked his lips with his bifurcated tongues as he stared at Krishna with a glance full of terrible poisonous fire. But Krishna playfully circled around him, just as Garuda would play with a snake. In response, Kaliya also moved about, looking for an opportunity to bite the Lord. Ready, Purport, Prabhu?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lord Krishna moved around the serpent so skillfully that Kaliya could find no opportunity to bite him. Thus, the snake was defeated by Sri Krishna's transcendental agility. Hare Krishna
Yeah,
Prabhupada. Thank you.
yeah. So I don't know. Now you should all recollect your little Krishna seeing here Krishna is there, and then Kalia is going to uh, bite him. Then Krishna actually moves out. Then again, Kalia is going to bite. So here Prabhupada is writing, sorry, in the purport, these are all disciples of Srila Prabhupada's, their purport. So they are writing, it's called Krishna's transcendental agility. Moving, and it is transcendental. There is like no Kalia is unable to bite him, because as soon as he goes with this very terrible poisonous fire, he goes and bites, and then again Krishna moves out. So that's what is called as transcendental agility. Okay, so we will move to the next. So we have some purport here. 26. Evam paribrama hatau hata ojasham unnatha amsam anamaya tat prithu shirashu adirudah adyah तन्मूर्धरत्न निकर स्पर्शति ताम्र पादाम्बुजो अखिल कलादि गुरुर्न नार्थ. Yes, Ganga. Mataji was first. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata.
Having severely depleted the serpent's strength with his relentless circling, Sri Krishna, the origin of everything, pushed down Kalia's raised shoulder and mounted with broad serpentine heads. Thus, Lord Sri Krishna, the original master of all fine arts, began to dance, his lotus feet deeply reddened by the touch of the numerous jewels upon the serpent's head. Purport, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Harivamsa states, Shira sa Krishno Jagraha sa Hastena Vanamya. Krishna grabbed Kalia's head with his hand and forced it to bow down. Most people in this world are quite reluctant to bow down to the Supreme Person, the Absolute Truth. In the contaminated state called material consciousness, we conditioned souls become proud of our insignificant position and are thus reluctant to bow our heads before the Lord. Yet, just as Lord Krishna forcibly pushed Kalia's head down and thus defeated him, the Supreme Lord's energy in the form of irresistible time kills all conditioned souls and thus forces them to bow down their arrogant heads. We should therefore give up the artificial position of the material life and become faithful servants of the Supreme Lord, enthusiastically bowing down at his lotus feet. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Lord Krishna's lotus feet became red like copper because of their contact with the numerous hard jewels upon the heads of Kalia. Lord Krishna, with those glowing reddish feet, then began to demonstrate his artistic skill by dancing on the unsteady moving surface of the serpent's hood. This extraordinary demonstration of dancing skill was meant for the pleasure of the young women of Vrindavana, who at this phase of their relationship with Krishna were seriously falling in love with him. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, interesting purport. So here we saw now Krishna is going on the top of Kalia's hoods and dancing, and how his lotus feet, because of coming in contact with the jewels at the serpent's head, got deeply reddened. So Krishna grabbed Kalia's head and forced to bow down. So here the purport says, so generally in the bodily concept of life, we are proud of our position. We are proud of not our position, insignificant position, it is written. So in the material world, we think we have taken big positions. But actually, the material positions are not very significant, but it's are very insignificant. But still, we feel we are very proud. Hmm? And sometimes people are not ready to bow their heads in before the Lord. But for these people who don't bow down before the Lord voluntarily, Krishna makes them uh, to make them bow down. How? Anybody? For people who don't bow down to the Lord, they are made bow down by the Lord. When? How? Yeah, go ahead, Vedant.
Do they bow down to the desires?
Yeah, bow down the desires, that is fine. But to the Lord, okay,
By
that is
putting
there.
them in miseries, Prabhu, by putting them in miseries, the Lord forces them through
But
Maya.
still, some people are still hard-hearted. Even misery comes, whatever comes, they will never bow down. But at one point, they have to bow down. When is that?
In the form of death.
Death. That's all. What does Krishna says about death in Bhagavad Gita? Anybody?
Krishna Prabhu. He says that if anybody remembers him at the time of death,
No.
then
At death, how he take?
at death he is like Kal Purush.
Yeah. Anybody knows the shloka which talks about that?
aham kalo asmi.
Yeah, I'm time, but at that,
Mrityuscha sarvaharaschi.
yes, Mrityu Sarva Harascha Aham. This is what Krishna is telling. In the form of death, I take away everything. So people who don't bow down, who think I know everything, I am a great scientist, I am a great man, I am man, this. In the death, he will take away. But at least people who are very little pious, they may be little proud and everything, but when their position is taken away, they automatically bow down. So it is very important point for us to understand. This material consciousness and having body, these positions are all very temporary. Anytime anything can happen. Just 1 second, everything will be 180-degree. Right? That's why it says in the contaminated state called material consciousness. So, bowing down before the Lord is, as devotees, we don't have issues, but for material people, they think, I am like this, I am this position, that position. But really, in the heart and really physically, they don't do that. Hmm? That is where here it is mentioned in the form of time. Kalosmi, he takes all conditioned souls. Hmm? So we should always understand that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said we should be humble. Trinadapi sunichena. So a devotee always, even when his has a high position, he is humble. Because he will understand that high position will anytime will go. Because that's the nature of the material world. And even when he's lower position, he doesn't feel high or anything. He always feels low. So he feels low only. Correct? So that way, we can see all exalted personalities. Prabhupada, he was always same when he had 35 rupees in his hand before he went to America. And then he has 35 crore rupee, whatever it is. Prabhupada was always very humble in his dealings with his devotees, disciples, and Krishna. So, so these are all great examples for us. We should always feel very humble. We generally, what happens is, no, a little power or a little material thing comes, we become proud. Hmm? So that is why Narada Pancharatra says, uh, Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesha Shevanam Bhakti Ruchate. So we may take like some position in spiritual life also, but we should not get, maybe for that service time alone we should maybe have that upadhi. But other time we should give up that upadhi. We should not carry, because the service time, then we ask why we should have the upadhi. If you then you don't have that upadhi, then how you will have the authority and get the service done? Just be humble in all the time, and humility is it is actually the fruit of knowledge. What is the shloka in Bhagavad Gita which talks about this? I think 13th chapter, I think. I'm not sure about that chapter. What is the symptom of knowledge? Anybody can guess?
Vidya Vinay Sampanne.
Yes. Go ahead, bro. Only one line.
With Brahmane Gavihastini, Shunichena Shvapakecha, Pandita Samdarshana.
Yes. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunichaiva Svapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Sampanne is humility. Vidya Vinaya. Vidya leads to Sampanne, humility. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Suniche. So with the knowledge, he becomes humble and he sees everything in a equanimity platform. And there it says, what is it? Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, Gavihastini Sunichaiva Swapakecha. So even a dog, then you get dog eater, everything. So then he becomes a Pandita Samadarshina. So if you reading all these books, everything, you become proud, then the knowledge has not become fructified. So that is some takeaway point here. So Krishna is actually forcing it to bow down. And that is one point here. And then we saw that Krishna's lotus feet, it has became glowing reddish feet because of the jewels touch, and it sees it has become reddish. Okay, bro. We will move to the next verse 27. ताम नर्तुम उद्यतम अपेक्ष्य तथा तदीया गंधर्वसिद्धमुनिचारण देववत्वः प्रीत्या मृदंगपणवांक वाद्यगीता पुष्पो उपहार न्यूतिभिः सहसा उपसेदुः.
Satyabhamati, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Seeing the Lord dancing, his servants in the heavenly planets, the Gandharvas, Siddhas, sages, Charanas, and the wives of the demigods immediately arrived there. With great pleasure, they began accompanying the Lord dancing by playing drums such as mridangas, panavas, and anakas. They also made offerings of songs, flowers, and prayers. When the demigods and the other residents of higher planetary systems became aware that the Lord Krishna was personally putting on a wonderful demonstration of the art of dancing, they immediately came to offer their services. Dancing became more enjoyable and beautiful to watch when it is accompanied by expert drum playing, singing by the chanting of prayer and the chanting of the prayers. The artistic atmosphere was also enhanced by the showering of the multitude of flowers on Lord Sri Krishna. who was blissfully engaged in dancing upon the hoods of the Kaliya serpent.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So, nothing much, but just all the heavenly planets, residents, they all saw Krishna doing this great pastime and they are very happy. And they are dancing and they are very pleasurable. And they show their happiness by playing all these instruments. And they are also offering songs, flowers, and these prayers, seeing Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kaliya serpent. Okay, so maybe we'll stop here. I just thought a few minutes I will play a video of this Kaliya serpent, bro. Maybe all these things which we saw here, we can just try to see. You all would have watched, but now we have read Bhagavatam. It makes a lot of difference. Okay, so I will just share. Bro, I think I can replace. Yeah, 1 minute. I think I have to share the sound also, correct? Otherwise, the sound will not come.
If it is from YouTube, Prabhu, it will play. I think it should be audible.
कालिया, तुमने मेरे मित्रों को बहुत दुख और दर्द पहुंचाया है। मैं ये सहन नहीं कर सकता। तैयार हो जाओ, तुम्हारा अंत निकट है।
मैंने कहा था ना कि बच्चे किसी सुरक्षित स्थान पर रहें। बलराम, तुम ठीक तो हो ना बेटा?
तुम्हारा भाई कहाँ है? इन्हें क्या हुआ? क्या कर रहा है? ये क्या कर रहा है? यशोदा को क्या हुआ?
हमें उसे बचाना ही होगा।
नहीं, पानी में मत जाइए बाबा, वहाँ खतरा है।
कृष्णा, कृष्णा,
Okay, bro. A short movie. Yeah, I thought we have seen this, but I felt very moved after reading Bhagavatam. So the same things what we read today was just trying to recollect. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we have 11 more minutes. Any thoughts or comments or questions or reflections? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, it's a like a very beautiful session, Prabhuji. We can imagine the Leela of Kaliya Leela when you are explaining, and in between you are popping questions, this shloka, that shloka. It makes us very yeah, Prabhuji is asking this question. Next time I should read more carefully, like that. I don't know how to put in words, Prabhuji, but it was very knowledgeable, encouraging for us. And the video, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I have not seen that video before.
Oh, you have never seen. You have missed a
No,
lot.
so I was eagerly waiting how Krishna would further going to stand on the hoods of Kaliya.
That's a interval for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can maybe Prem can forward that video to the group or.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I also heard in one lecture yesterday, just today or yesterday, Prabhuji, that when Krishna jumped into Yamuna to catch Kaliya, then water spilled, though he is a 6 years old boy, he jumped from the tree to the Yamuna, then water came out like 100 meters or 100 miles, that much water splashed from Yamuna, it seems.
Yeah, should be. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
I would just one question regarding that you were sharing that emotions. So they are generally at material platform also and the spiritual platform also. So I know you give one criteria that either when it is for sense gratification, it is material emotions, otherwise it's spiritual. So sometimes when we are hearing the leelas and or sometimes maybe watching like little Krishna and all that, we become emotional. So how should we understand? Is that material emotion or is it a
See, if our motivation is just to please Krishna for the service of Guru and Gauranga, then we are in the right path. But if you are actually for your own pleasure, if you are doing, then automatically it slowly deviate you from the Krishna consciousness. No, so that maybe we need personal guidance from somebody can like it's like no, as you grow in Krishna consciousness, automatically you will understand. It's like somebody is it's like we say four regulative principles. So it's like somebody puts money in the stock. So then your mind gets agitated, correct? So and all the emotions will come. So then that is not favorable because the goal of Krishna consciousness is to have a stable mind. But as per the Acharya's comments and everything, we try to make the mind unstable or flickering by all engaging in all the material activities. Then that's going to be destructive to your Krishna consciousness. So like that, case by case. See, what happens is initially we should Krishna consciousness works like this. It's so amazing. Initially, we should always take guidance from senior devotees for everything. Now, that doesn't mean in all whole of your spiritual life you go like that. But by taking guidance, take guidance, then you come to know what is correct, what is not correct. Because we are also individual, no? So we will also know, okay, so this devotee told me in this particular situation, do like that. So by your experience, you also come to know. And then you understand that, yeah, I should not do like that. Then your own maturity comes over a period of time. And then you don't need guidance and you do it. But still, if you are not confident, you can always cross check. So that way you can we become slowly understand this and keep moving forward. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Any other question or comments?
Anybody has any experience or reflections also on today's discussion?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is
Yeah.
Samir Das. Prabhu, my question is little off, like may not be related to today's topic also, but I want to know your opinion on we using ingredients or recipes which are not Indian. Like for example, we know that like tomato, potato, they are not from India. In traditional recipes, these are not used. And to other side also, uh, we tend to prepare other recipes which are not traditional. So, what is your opinion? What is your take on this from?
It's not my opinion. We'll see what Prabhupada did. So Prabhupada was not very particular. So things, maybe we may avoid, like, how onion, garlic, which is all, hindrance to our spiritual life. Like see, for example, mushrooms. Even though they are not non-vegetarian or come under this, we avoid mushrooms. So like that. But like potatoes and tomatoes, it's like, no, in Jagannath Puri they don't use because they were just following like how age-old tradition. So you don't see tomatoes and potatoes there. But here in our Krishna consciousness, ours is a preaching movement. So we don't see like this, no, those days it was not there, so don't use tomato. No, potato also don't use. So we don't much into it. And even if you feel I want to be very traditional, cultural, like how earlier days, you can follow. But you don't need to promote it or go and tell, oh, it happens like this, like that. Because in ISKCON, these are all not followed. We see to that, the movement is a preaching movement, and we go ahead encouraging people to chant Hare Krishna, the thing with basic rules. What is required, we need to follow it. So we don't need to be very, Prabhupada was not very particular on those.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. We have 3 more minutes. Anybody has any other questions also?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, Kalia represents envy. So I heard in one of the lecture that if we are envious to any of the living being, actually, because Krishna is residing as Paramatma in all the living being, so we we cannot go back to Godhead. We cannot get the love of Krishna. So it seems to be very difficult because when we see we see that every living being, even insects, animals, and all human beings, we should see the presence of Lord, and we should not be envious to them. So how it is, how we can practically do that, Prabhuji?
Yeah, so generally a snake body is taken for who are envious. It's mentioned that When you are envious of somebody, then you get a body of a snake. Now, coming back to our practical application of Krishna consciousness, if you feel envious of somebody, you are supposed to be. That's how the body is. Now, in the material world, the understanding is what happens to us. This is not important. How we react to that, what happens to us, is more important. You understand what I'm saying? You may say, Prabhu, I am envious of that devotee. That devotee, I was every day cooking, and or maybe kirtan, and he today did good kirtan. So automatically you will feel envious only, right? But what happens in normal course when you are envious of somebody? The Prabhupada says in a material consciousness, we always see how to bring that person down. You need to be very conscious that you don't react to the situation in that way when your mind gives that kind of an impulse. So gradually we should practice. If you are envious of somebody, you may feel like that, but you appreciate the devotee. You cannot do it, but you go out of your way, overcome your false ego, and then appreciate. Then gradually, by the mercy of Krishna, then gradually we will not feel envious of Vaishnavas or anybody. And always you'll be compassionate. So then you gradually come, that only happens by the mercy. But at least from your side, you don't work such a way that to bring the other person or a devotee down. And it's not your job. Even if he has caused harm to you, you just leave it. The material nature will take care. And you also don't need to think that, let the material nature will nicely show him a lesson. I will not do, but I'll be happy when material nature is showing a nice lesson to him and internally, I laugh. We don't need to do that also. We need to be compassionate, that's all. Maybe no, everybody is going through a phase. So like that, you don't react to the situation. You don't give it up. And you always see how, as a devotee, how I'm supposed to react and react like that.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kripa Sindhu Vevacha, Patnaam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dalasam. Thank you very much,
Gauri
Prabhu.
Vaishnava Vrinda
Pranam,
ki
Prabhu.
jai.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everybody, for joining.